Joining us now in Studio B is the head basketball coach at BYU, Dave Rose, who is a football savant and a sports savant himself. Coach, I know you love Taysom Hill. You loved watching him at BYU. What do you think of this run of the BYU Cougars in the NFL?
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean, I think that, you know, the two teams that are favored, what do you say, the Saints and the Chiefs, that means they'll probably both lose. You know?
Right, that's how it works, right?
Because, that's just kind of how things go, and especially late in the NFL, you know. And Tom Brady, you know, thinks, he told everybody that, you know, everybody thinks we suck.
Just a hilarious soundbite.
There you go. You know, I think that those guys have got a real incentive to, and all those guys, I mean, they've all been there. That means a lot when you start playing those games, you know.
Yeah. Did you grow up NFL fan of a
Houston Oilers?
Yeah.
I was a Los Angeles Rams fan when I lived in L.A., and then we moved to Houston, and Bum Phillips was our guy, and Earl Campbell was.
Earl Campbell
was Giff there.
Running back. Giff came and was our quarterback, and then became the newscaster for years. So, and then since then, just occasionally, mostly my relationship with BYU guys is the NFL. I love watching, you know, the 49ers over the years when Steve Young was playing. So, but you know, the NFL's a little bit hard because of the Sunday deal. You know, I've been to 2 NFL games in my life. Both of them were exhibition games on Thursday nights. You know, and it's hard to get to an NFL stadium on a Sunday.
Yeah, well, you're also the head coach of a basketball team and have been for a very long time, and have some other things going on.
Yeah, usually during that time. Yeah. But, you know, Super Bowl Sunday's always been pretty fun, no matter if I was coaching in high school, junior college, or here at BYU. The one thing is, it means that you're usually right in the middle of your league schedule, you know, and trying to win a league championship, and then trying to figure out a way to find out who won that game, you know, the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Head coach Dave Rose with us on BYU Sports Nation. Congratulations on 2 big home wins. You were gone for a month. That's a really tough stretch. And we mentioned that you had to do that so you could get some return games next year as you look to ramp up the schedule. But what does playing on the home court after a 29-day spell mean to you in the program? Well,
I really felt like our guys responded, you know, really well. The first 10 minutes of the Portland game might have been as good a, you know, basketball on both sides of the floor as we've played. We played, I mean, they had 4 points, I think, with 10 minutes left in the half, and our guys had really dialed in on the defensive end. Offensively, we'd really shared the ball, and we were shooting the ball really well. We got it in the spots we wanted. Then we got in a little bit of foul trouble, and lineups got a little bit, you know, twisted, and our personnel was, you know, maybe not what we were really comfortable with playing with. And then the next 10 minutes, they came right back at us and put a run on us. But really proud of how our guys came out the second half. The difference between playing at home and on the road, you know, in basketball is it's really kind of hard to explain unless you've actually experienced it and been through it. And I think that with this year's team especially, where we're not as balanced as we've been in the past as far as scoring the ball is concerned, you know, we get really reliant on a couple guys. That causes us issues, you know, on the defensive end of who we can play, and we're just not as good a defensive team on the road as we are at home, and that's what really needs to change and really need to improve. You just look at the scores; you can just read them off the page right there of the points that we give up at teams at home, and then the points that we give up, you know, teams on the road. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's in the 113, 103, 92, 88, and at home it's 67, 50. I think 76 is the highest. I think Houston scored 76 against us. Santa Clara got 74 the other night, but that's a huge difference.
Can you? What's the latest with Jahshire Hardnett's hand, and when can we expect him to potentially return?
Well, you know, it's all based on kind of protocol now with the doctors, and I know Jahshire really wants to play. You know, he wanted to play on Thursday night and suited up, and the doctors basically just shut him down, and that's. Yeah, that's a tough thing. You know, it hurts. It's really painful. Saturday, he realized that, you know, he needs to go through this this medical protocol, and hopefully, you know, with Rob and the kind of the therapy that they can do, physical therapy that they can do, they can get him back. But it's right in between the 2 knuckles
on his left hand.
On his left hand, it's not a good hand to be hurt when you're a left-hand dominant guy. So hopefully we'll get him back as soon as possible.
BYU basketball head coach Dave Rose on BYU Sports Nation. You get Pepperdine and you get San Francisco, both on the road this week. You find yourself in second place alone in the West Coast Conference. When you look at what's ahead and where you are in conference, how do you feel overall about how things are going in the West Coast Conference?
Well, the league is much improved, no question. I think that Gonzaga is probably better than they've been, which is a little bit hard to explain and believe. And then everybody else in the league, I think, except for St. Mary's. St. Mary's record is probably, well, it's different than it's been. But they went out and played a pretty aggressive preseason schedule, too, to try to not get shut out at the end like they did last year and from the NCAA tournament. So, but San Francisco's better. San Diego's much better with that senior class. They've had some injuries, which has caused them some issues. Pepperdine is a much improved offensive team, and they've got a couple wins in league this. And a close home loss to San Francisco. I think it was
3 points.
A 3-point game. So I think and LMU is won 13 or 14 games to this point. So it's a much improved league, and I think anytime you go out on the road in any league, but especially this weekend with these 2 games, it'll be a real challenge for our guys. And if we can be consistent offensively and improve defensively, I think we have a chance to win every game we play.
Regarding Nick Emery, he's gone through a lot, so it'd be fair to kind of expect it to take a while for him to be himself from the first 2 years. Is it fair to expect that this season with him?
Well, I think with Nick, the conversations that we've had over the, especially the last 6 months, is that Nick is in a position where he just wants to do whatever he can do to help the team win. And I'm really proud of him on the defensive end. He's made some huge defensive strides and made big plays against Pacific late in that game to help us get that road win.
And got the free throws as well.
And made 2 big free throws. And his offensive game, I think, he's just still trying to find how he fits with this team and how he fits with this group. I think he's always been a kind of prolific scorer, and so everyone's expecting what's going on, what's with Nick, and I think that it's to his credit where he's just trying to come in and fit in with our group and find ways to help us win.
Coach, you handle a lot of things that nobody sees, nobody ever knows about in terms of injuries and roster shakeups and potential roster shakeups. How do you manage to keep your guys together when you're going through this day-to-day craze of all the things that nobody sees?
Well, our guys understand, the challenges. Each guy understands the challenge because they're all going through it together. They're going through it individually and they're going through it together. I think the most important thing for me is to try to keep it in our locker room and to keep all the outside noise out. And it's really hard when everybody wants to know what's going on all the time. And it'd be like somebody, trying to peek out your kitchen window, trying to find out what's going on at the dinner table all the time. And most of the time, you guys probably wouldn't want to know have other people know what's going on out there because it's inside, and that's the group.
Yeah.
And when there are things that need to be announced, the thing that irritated me the most last week was that I made a statement on my show Tuesday evening of what the situation was with Jahshire, and it had nothing to do with the fact that he had left our team. It had to do with the fact that he was going through a tough time, and we were working together. And then people just ran with reports that really kind of were half truths, not true at all. And if they just listen to what we say and how we report it and wait for situations to run its course, I think it'd be a lot easier on these kids.
Where are you seeing this team improve the most?
Well, I think that the ability for us to make big plays, winning plays at the end of games. I think that we got in a tough spot at Illinois State. We thought we had that game won, got away from us. Tough spot at UNLV, thought we had that game, make a big shot late. The specific game and this Santa Clara game both came down to 1-possession games, and we were able to make a big play on the offensive end against Santa Clara, made a big play on the defensive end against Pacific, and those are confidence builders for our team. And I think our group will continue to build that confidence as we continue to win.
Tj Haws with 15 assists, only 2 turnovers in the 2 home wins this last week. Why is he thriving right now?
Well, I think that in the assist category especially there is a real concerted effort on the defensive game plan to take TJ out of our offensive game, and I think that he's he's a great student of the game, just like his brother Tyler was. They spend hours studying things, but I think that TJ has found a way to really be effective, whether he's scoring the ball or whether he's just running our offense, and I think that'll continue. We need to be more consistent with, in our roster as far as, and it doesn't need to be the same guy every game. It just needs to be guys being able to come and support us and to be good. And I think that our team can consistently get better if we'll find some consistency in the kind of the other players, the role players on the team.
There are 2 teams in league you won't play twice. One of those is Pepperdine Thursday, and it's a road game. I thought that was fun that the league scheduled the team that you've lost to 4 of the last 5 there.
Yeah.
Of all the teams, come on. Yeah. So at Pepperdine, at San Francisco, certainly a huge test this week for you guys.
Absolutely, and I think that Lorenzo's done a terrific job. Mostly those names are all the same guys. That's not really common in our game anymore. You make a coaching change, and usually players, they kind of scatter. He's got that same group of guys that Marty had. And Marty had them as a really good defensive team. I think Lorenzo's expanded them a little better, and offensively, they've become quite an effective team. They had Santa Clara beat. They had them the whole game. They were ahead the whole second half, and ended up losing that game by a couple. So the 2 losses they have in league, I think, have been by 2 points or 3 points each, and so that'll be a real challenge there for us. We need to play better in that building than we normally do. And then San Francisco, we played well up there, but they've got probably as good a team as they've had for years, maybe decades, and that'll be a challenge. But we'll tackle this Pepperdine game on Thursday and hopefully get a big win and ride that momentum into Saturday night.
All right, Coach, let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma for the road trip.
Okay?
Okay.
Are you coming with us?
I don't know. Can we go to Malibu with you guys?
You got room? Yeah, we'll go. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, enjoy the karma, and thanks for giving us, an invitation into the BYU basketball home per se, instead of making us peek through the windows.
Yeah.
And
Well, hey, the bottom line is that these are student athletes. They're just kids. They're not professional players. I think there's sometimes the media, especially in the media we have with the Jazz and as a professional, you don't treat these student athletes the same way as you treat those, professional athletes. And I know that they're going through a lot. This team has been through a lot of personal issues that our team has supported the guys through, and hopefully that fans will understand that and allow us to just kind of do the best we can.
The difference between what Rudy Gobert is eating and Connor Harding is eating is different, right?
and what they drive and what they wear.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah.
So exactly. I think they would have to answer harder questions.
Yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
Sure.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow night on the Road Show.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.